The Fighting Jessies had a darn good night last night. Penn State 38, West Virginia 15. Some of you were very upset at the end of this one. Some of you thought, oh, West Virginia's not going to win this game. But certainly West Virginia will cover. And I have always told you guys, some people are more aware than others about the point spread on their games. This is nothing nefarious. It's just some coaches are aware of that stuff and some are not. And coaches, they know. They know their alumni love to bet on this stuff. I tweeted out last night when West Virginia thought they were about to take a knee. Nah, Penn State, 10 seconds to go. Let's just score one more for good measure. There are two people on planet Earth more aware than anyone of what the spread is on a Penn State game. And they're both in that photo right there. One of them's me. The other one is James F. Franklin. And he got you again last night. Got you again, didn't he? Ouch. Dagger to the ribs for some of you. It didn't affect us either way. So I got some feedback from a couple of coaches that Penn State will have to play this year. And it was basically a collective uh-oh as they were watching this game. It's kind of like a uh-oh. And that was in reference to Drew Aller, who, as it turns out, is everything we thought he would be. 21 of 29, 325 through the air, 3 passing touchdowns, and more so than the stats. If you didn't watch this game, Drew Aller was in total control. It was really I'm not going to call it his first start. It's like his first time as the QB1 starter for Penn State. And he worked every level of the field, and he worked through progressions, and frankly, he was under a little more duress than I would have been comfortable with. So there wasn't necessarily a clean pocket for him all night, but when there was, and even when there wasn't sometimes, totally aware. He looked like he had 2 or 3 years starting under his belt. It's just, if I'm a Penn State fan, I am watching that, and I'm not nervous. If that kid's my quarterback, I'm totally at ease. That's how I'd feel after watching him just through one game. We went up there in the spring, and Franklin let us watch practice, and even then, and it was a scrimmage in spring practice, but even then, you look at him, and every throw's not perfect. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he did not look like a guy who was green or a first-year starter. He looks so much more seasoned than he actually is. There's plenty of room to improve on this team, too. They won 38-15. Pass pro was not great for Penn State last night. Run stopping, defensively, not great. That's one of the biggest concerns on this team. I would not be comfortable with them facing Michigan right now. Michigan ran for about half a mile on them last year. Based on what we saw last night, 1 game sample size, I wouldn't be comfortable with Michigan coming to town, but here's the good news. They don't come to town this week. That's all the way, I think, in November. So the one thing I kept reminding myself, or kept thinking to myself watching this game is, you know what could happen here? They've got a quarterback that could win a shootout. Like if someone does figure out that they can run the ball for 245 yards in an afternoon on Penn State, it's not an automatic loss. I got a quarterback here that may just be able to outscore you. I'm not a guy who's been overly confident in Penn State winning a 48-45 game in years past. That is not Penn State football. But if that happens at some point this year, and I don't expect it to, that defense is too good to be hanging out in the 40s, but you get what I'm saying, 38-35, let's say. I got the guy I think that can do it there. And I've also got a guy that probably gets the absolute most out of a wide receiver room. They didn't even involve the tight end position much last night, so I've still got a lot of room for growth offensively. I like where Penn State is. I'm getting clowned right now because I predicted them to go to the playoff. That's fine. That's okay. I felt pretty good with what I saw last night. Now, they got Delaware this week, and then they go to Illinois in week 3. Dogfight in week 3. Don't be fooled. Dogfight on the way in week 3. All due respect to Delaware.